So yesterday I finished Salem's Lots, book one of my own Stephen King challenge. Not gonna lie, the first 200 pages really had me wanting to DNF it. It was all character building and world building, and it's like it was too much. I was bored. I was questioning how much I really wanted to do this challenge. I was wondering why I bought the rest of the books that I did. Like, it was bad. It was bad. It took me 2 weeks to read those first 200 pages. Because it was really hard and I didn't want to pick it up. It wasn't hard, like, it's not a hard read. It's just like, why am I reading? Why do I need all this? Why, just all I needed for world building. Because it's not like it's a new world that he's made. It's, where the hell was it? It was like 1975 and, oh, Portland. I'm like, cool, got it. I didn't need to go into this whole explanation of, like, I don't even know. And then, like, we have all the life descriptions of, feels like, everyone in town, and you get to see their lives, and you get to see what everyone's life is like, and some people you are not a fan of. I'm thinking of this one lady who abuses her kid. Not cool. What are you doing? But yeah, so for like the lives, like, just all of it is just like, I couldn't understand how he is so popular and how this book itself was so popular. I'm like, what have I done? For it, the only thing I could think of was that maybe he's popular for being a shock jock. Like those radio shows, like Howard Stern and stuff, they're popular because they say the crazy, weird, in your face stuff. And it's just like, okay, but I don't really care about anybody. Like, what, I didn't, it was like, someone's dog is killed and a mom is abusing her kid, or an odd amount of times fag was written about people. It's like, what? Like, it was just like, what are we doing? I thought this was a vampire book. And you don't really see the vampires until about 200 pages in. Before then, it's just like someone gets a creepy feeling here, and you get back to Joe Schmo doing something else, totally doesn't know what's going on. It's like, okay, we're back to this again. And then someone else gets a creepy vibe, and then like, hey, now it's gonna start. And then no, back to another Joe Schmo, and who doesn't know what's going on. It's like, what am I doing to myself? Like, I didn't even want to pick up the book a lot of times. Like, I found so many things to do instead of picking up the book. Like, I did a lot of organizing on my phone. Like, it's just like, I was finding anything. Like, yeah, it was bad. But then once the vampires actually started to kick up and do things, then it finally got good. So instead of, it taking 2 more weeks to finish the book, I finished it in, I think, 3 days. Because once it actually gets going, it gets going, and it was actually good. And like, all the descriptions that you're like wanting to kill yourself for in the first 200 pages, it actually works now. And I think it's actually a little better than the movie. I don't know. I watched the first one. Was it from the 70s? Like a couple years ago? 1 or 2 years ago? And like, sure, yeah, it's a vampire movie and, you know, it's supposed to be creepy and everything, but the book helps you feel it, you know? Like, it, instead of just watching another scary movie, you know, someone's scared and it's like, well, of course it's a scary movie. But here, like, you feel how the character, multiple characters eventually, get like these intense feelings of dread, and that they shouldn't be in these spots where the vampires are in. Like, they are physically repulsed by the area. Like, it is that bad. They keep telling themselves that they should leave, they shouldn't be here. You know, it is like this physical reaction that's like deep in themselves. And you get that better in the book than you do in the movie. I haven't seen the new one though. I guess there's one that was made last year, which I haven't watched, but I saw it when I was like flipping through Prime the other day. I was like, oh, I guess I should finish the book so I can watch this. But yeah, anyways, if you are looking for a spooky vampire book, this one works. You really have to trudge through those first 200 pages, but then it becomes the spooky vampire book you're looking for. But man, those first 200 pages. I know, I hear that's his thing, and I don't remember that for the other two books that I read of his, Misery and Cell. I don't remember that, but Misery I read like ages ago. Like, I was in junior high when I read that, I think. And Cell was maybe a decade ago. So, I don't know. But, speaking of Cell, because that one had like a non-ending ending, this one actually does have an ending. Like, there's a wrap up, and you feel like it probably does wrap up the story. You know, like, there's not going to be a part 2, although he probably could if he wanted to. Like, it's vampires, like, you could throw that out anywhere. But like, the story in the town itself feels wrapped up. So it was good. If I do end up collecting Stephen King books, this one smells. I'm not gonna stay with this one. But also, you know, I like to have them all match. So if I do end up doing a collection, I will get a new one. In the meantime, I will be selling this one back to thrift books so I can get more books. Anyways, I've blabbered on enough now. We're almost at 9 minutes. So if you made it this far along, thank you for staying and chatting with me. Please feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment, all the stuff. And I'm reading a non-Stephen King book right now. I started that last night. But then after that, I think I'll go to one of the other Stephen King books that I have so I can continue on my challenge. See you next time.